What's up YouTube, it's your boy Naughty Nev. Now today we have a replay for you. This is Cyber Dragons going up against Bystial Control post Alliance Insight. I was testing this build with my dear friend, and without wasting any time, let's hop right into the replay. So we win the rock paper scissors and we decide to go first. Yes, so with this build of Cyber Dragons I am testing to go first. So in our opening hand, we open Ash Blossom, Cyberdark Claw, Fiendsmith Engraver, Cyber Dragon Veer, and Power Bond. Opponent has Black Dragon, Ash Blossom, Dark End Dragon, Black Metal Dragon, and Branded Beast. They have an Ash Blossom as an interruption for us. We have Ash Blossom as well. And we only have one card to start our Cyber Dragon plays. Unfortunately, we don't have Cyber Emergency or Cyber Dragon Core. And so we can at least start with our Fiendsmith plays. So in the main phase, we activate Engraver. Engraver will search Fiendsmith Tract. We'll use the effect of Fiendsmith Tract to add Lurie, then we discard Lurie. Lurie's mandatory effect will special summon itself. We will link it to Requiem effect. Our opponent lets this go through, so we will special summon Lacrima. Then Lacrima effect, will dump another Engraver because I don't think, I wasn't playing the trap since we don't play Desiree, so there's no need to play the trap. Then we'll use Engraver effect, shuffling back our Lurie to reborn itself. We'll use Requiem to equip to Lacrima and then contact views into Necroquip Princess. Now before we XC summon into Wave Hiking Caesar, we will first activate Cyberdark Claws effect, discarding itself as cost to the grave to search Cyberdark Realm. This will trigger Necroquip Princess, so we get to draw a card, and that's another Cyberdark Realm. Quite unfortunate, no other extender. Then we will XC summon to Wave Hiking Caesar to protect ourselves from Bystials and Nibiru. Next, I'll activate Cyberdark Realm, but it gets hit with an Ash. Goodness me. And unfortunately, we have no other extenders, so we have to pass our turn from here. So our opponent will start their turn. They draw into White Dragon. So Dark End Dragon is actually an activated effect. So when my opponent activates, I'll use Wave Hiking Caesar to negate its summon. Opponent will now normal summon Black Metal Dragon, link summon into Striker Dragon. They just misclick, so it wasn't supposed to be banished. Just wanted to activate the effect to search, and we will hit it with Ash Blossom. I believe, obviously they may have extenders in the hand, in which case we know it's Black and White Dragon, but this Black Metal Dragon is a good target to negate its search because it does help them to combo off or extend. So I hit it with Ash Blossom, but opponent does have the extender, so they'll special summon White Dragon. Opponent will then perform a link summon into Heretic Seals. They will set the Branded Beast, and in the end phase I wanted to activate Lacrima effect, so it will shuffle herself back and special summon Requiem. I forgot to shuffle my deck, so we just put it back, shuffle, and draw our card for turn. We draw into Hertz. So in the main phase, we will activate Requiem effect. Requiem will special summon our Lacrima. We don't use the Lacrima effect because essentially I was just going to send in Engraver, so there was no need. So instead, I'll just activate Engraver's effect, shuffling back our Requiem to reborn itself. Opponent here then decides to activate Seals effect, bouncing our Wave Hiking Caesar, and since Seals got tributed, it will trigger to special summon from deck. We don't have a negate for that. Our opponent will special summon Fallen of Albaz, then use Albaz effect, discarding Black Dragon as cost, and using our Engraver, they'll fusion summon into Albion, the Branded Dragon, and then Albion's effect will now fusion summon into Borrowload Furious Dragon. So now here we're thinking how to deal with this. We do have that pop, so I can't activate Cyberdark Realm. So instead, since Cyberdark Realm is a one card starter on its own, I need to try see if I can bait out the Furious Dragon some other way. So I proceed to use Power Bond to fusion summon using Hertz and Cyber Dragon Veer into Chimera Rampage Dragon. Chainlink 1 will be Rampage Dragon to pop his back row, and Chainlink 2 will be Hertz to add a Cyber Dragon. Opponent will then chain Furious to pop Albion and our Rampage Dragon, because if my opponent does not get a Rampage Dragon, and obviously since I don't know what this back row was, but it wasn't affecting us, I can just enter battle phase, and I believe it would be game. Yeah, it would be game. So opponent has to pop our Rampage Dragon. And using Hertz effect, we just add Cyber Dragon via back to our hand, because as you know, its name becomes Cyber Dragon while on the field or in graveyard. Now, with no interruptions, we activate Cyberdark Realm, and this is a 1-card starter right here. We'll use the effect of Cyberdark Realm to normal summon Cyberdark Chimera, link summon into Clockwork Knight. Clockwork Knight effect will send Cyberdark Realm to the grave as cost to search for Clockwork Knight. Then we'll normal summon. We didn't use our normal summon for the turn. Normal summon Cyber Dragon Via. Then we'll use the other effect of Clockwork Knight to reborn our Cyberdark Chimera, tributing. I think I forgot to tribute here, but I was supposed to tribute Via. But then we'll use Cyberdark Chimera effect to search for Power Bond. We link summon into SP. Then since Cyberdark Chimera went to the grave, its effect will trigger. We will send Cyberdark Worm to the grave. We'll use Cyberdark Worm's effect, sending Cyber Dragon Core as cost. It will special summon itself, and we'll just add Cyberdark Worm back to our hand. Next, I'll activate Power Bond. Power Bond is not once per turn to fusion summon into Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon, and this is the same thing. We can just enter battle phase and attack for game. So opponent scoops, and we head into game 2. So my opponent is now going first. In our opening hand, we open Cyber Dragon Core, Crossout Designator, Cyberdark Claw, Cyberdark Worm, Clockwork Knight. Our opponent has Imperm, Albaz, Serenier, Effect Veiler, and Boldrake. Opponent will enter the main phase. So they will normal summon Effect Veiler, and the reason for this is since it is post Alliance Inside, they're playing the new Link 1 for Blue Eyes, the Spirit with Eyes of Blue. They're just playing it as a Link 1 because since they're playing Bystials, they can put a light or dark monster in the grave. Then our opponent will activate Bystial Serenier, targeting the Effect Veiler to banish to special summon itself. Opponent will link summon into Romulus. And then the triggers will be Chainlink 1 Serenier to dump and Chainlink 2 Romulus to search for Dragon Ravine. Opponent will send Lubellion to grave off Serenier. Opponent will activate Dragon Ravine, and as cost they'll discard Fallen of Albaz to search for Seyfert. Sending Seyfert to grave, not adding to hand. I was a bit confused there. Then you'll use its graveyard effect, banishing itself to add Lubellion to their hand. They'll use Lubellion effect to search for Mag. And then Mag effect to special summon itself by banishing Serenier. Then on summon Mag to search in the end phase. They'll tribute Mag to reborn Lubellion. Then Lubellion's effect will place Branded Regained in the spell and trap zone. Opponent will set their Imperm and then link summon into Heretic Seals. In the end phase, our opponent gets their search. They will search for Bystial Jerusalem. So we start our turn and we draw into Cyber Emergency. And this is actually a pretty decent hand. We have a starter, 2 starters actually. We have Cyber Emergency. Maybe you can search for Cyber Dragon Via to chain block Ash with Core, and also Crossout Designator to help us, and Clockwork Knight to break the board. So in the main phase, just to check if our opponent has an Ash, I activate Cyber Emergency, and since they don't have any interruption for that, I just decide to search for Cyber Dragon so that we can just contact fuse our opponent's seals. So we special summon Cyber Dragon. Opponent activates Regain to summon Mag, since we have special summoned a monster. Mag effect on summon to search in the end phase. Then our opponent also decides to use Jerusalem effect, banishing their Albaz to summon Jerusalem. Then Regained will trigger, shuffling back the Albaz to draw a card. They draw into Seyfert. And then on res, our opponent will use Seals, and they will bounce their Mag back to hand, and Seals effect will trigger, and they will special summon the Albaz they just kept back into deck. So this was quite a neat play from our opponent. And then Albaz effect, discarding Seyfert. They will use our Cyber Dragon to go into Albion, and then Albion effect will fusion summon into Lad, but however they can't do it because Lad needs 1 level 8 dragon and 1 level 8 dark dragon. But I believe Albion says you need to fusion summon 1 level 8 or lower fusion monster, and Lad is level 10, I believe. So opponent can't go into LAD. So opponent will take it back, and instead, thinking what to fusion summon into, they'll just fusion summon into Bowload Furious again. So now proceeding with turn, now we need to deal with Bowload Furious Dragon. We can use Clockwork Knight to bait it out. It's not important. What is important is we need Cyberdark Realm to stay on the field. So I activate Clockwork Knight. Opponent does not activate anything. So we will normal summon Cyber Dragon Core effect, and the whole purpose of Core is obviously to get negated, so it gets hit with Imperm. I decide to chain Crossout, calling Imperm, and we still get our search for a Cyberdark Realm. And our opponent here is obviously thinking on res, because we can just contact fuse from here. So they decide to use Bowload Furious first, popping our Cyber Dragon Core and Furious itself. And now here we activate Cyberdark Realm. Cyberdark Realm will search as Cyberdark Chimera. Then we use Realm Effect to normal summon Chimera. Link summon into Clockwork Knight. I thought I couldn't do it, but Clockwork Knight says a monster with original attack 1000 or less. So it was a legal link summon. So now here I go chain link 1 Clockwork Knight to search for the continuous spell. I don't go Chimera because we only play one Cyberdark Worm, and Worm is already in our hand. So I'll use Worm Effect, sending Hurts as cost because you need to send a Cyber Dragon monster. And then our opponent will chain Mag, targeting our Hurts, I believe. Yes, our Hurts to banish. We'll just add Cyberdark Realm back to our hand. Opponent just wanted to check what was in our hand that they know of. Then we'll use the other effect of Clockwork Knight. We want to reborn our Cyberdark Chimera, but our opponent hits us with a Baldrake. So we are unable to search for Power Bond since Chimera is now banished. My bad. So Clockwork Knight, I can't speak. So when its effect says to tribute one monster, and if you do special summon the targeted monster, you had to resolve the effect as much as possible. So even though you can't special summon Cyberdark Chimera, Clockwork Knight still needs to tribute. So that is why Cyberdark Worm was sent to grave. If I'm wrong, just let me know down in the comments below. So opponent starts their turn. They get Black Metal Dragon, and they add Jerusalem back to the hand. And now they will link summon into Dark, but since Jerusalem sent to grave, it will send our Clockwork Knight to grave. Opponent will activate Dark to take our Cyberdark Worm. Opponent will activate Safeart's Graveyard Effect to add Lubellion back to the hand. Jerusalem will activate, banishing their Mag to summon, and this will trigger Regain to put back the Mag and draw a card. They draw into Call By. Opponent will activate Lubellion to search the Mag they just kept back. And now opponent will special summon their Mag, banishing our Cyber Dragon Core. Then Mag effect will search an end phase. Opponent will switch Baldrake to battle, and now our opponent will enter battle. Our opponent thought it was game, but they forgot that Clockwork Knight actually reduces our opponent's monster's attack by 500, and since they're all machine while it's on the field. So we actually managed to survive this round, thankfully. And opponent can't really link summon into his monsters that requires dragons because all the monsters on the field are machine. So instead our opponent will just proceed to link summon into SP. SP effect will banish our Clockwork Knight. Opponent will special summon Lubellion, sending their Druis, and Lubellion will place Branded Beast in the spell and trap zone. They'll set the Call By, and then in the end phase they get the Search of Mag, just adding Jerusalem back to their hand. And now we will start our turn and we draw into Cyberload Fusion. So we enter main phase. So we have Branded Beast, which is a pop, we also have SP, which will banish a monster, and an unknown set card. I thought it was an Imper. So we decide to first contact fuse into Mega Fleet Dragon. Now if you're wondering why, Cyberdark Worm, well, its name, becomes Cyber Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard. An opponent has a monster in the extra monster zone. Mega Fleet requires one Cyber Dragon monster, and we don't need to control that Cyber Dragon monster. our opponent has a Cyber Dragon monster, so this is just easy for us to just contact fuse. So we just simply contact fuse into Mega Fleet Dragon. That got rid of SP really well for us. And then on the summon of Mega Fleet, opponent activates Regain to summon Mag, and then Mag effect to search in the end phase. And now here our next problem is Branded Beast. So we proceed to activate Cyber Dark Realm, and opponent will obviously chain Beast to pop Realm, so we don't get that search. I normal summon Cyber Dark Claw, then I activate Clockwork Knight. I activate Clockwork Knight just so that we can attack into our opponent's monsters to clear their board. So then I'll just enter battle phase and I'll attack over the Lubellion, and also I am going to attack over the Baldrake. Yeah, I was thinking whether to do it, and also since I have Cyber Lord Fusion, I could go into Rampage Dragon, but I was thinking whether to first attack the monsters or just go into Rampage Dragon to pop these spells and we can go for game. But I wasn't sure what the set card was. I thought it was an imperm, so if our opponent impermed Rampage, we wouldn't be able to go for game. So instead I just enter battle phase and just clear his monsters. And then in the battle phase, I will activate Cyber Lord Fusion. Opponent will activate Druid's Worm, banishing the SP to special summon itself. We will use Hertz and Core to fusion summon into Rampage Dragon. Rampage Dragon effect, we will target his Regained and Beast to pop. Opponent will chain Regain to shuffle back the SP and draw a card. They draw into a Thrust. So obviously, I don't attack into Druid's, because Druid's will just send a monster that we control to the grave. Instead, I could keep it as link material. So in the main phase 2, I'll link it to SP. SP effect, I'll banish the Druid's Worm. And then I'll use Rampage other effect. I'll send Core and Hertz, and then we can trigger Hertz effect to add Core to our hand as follow-up. Then we proceed to the end phase, and my opponent gets their search of Mag, and they search Chaos Dragon Levineer. Opponent starts their turn drawing to Effect Veiler. Opponent will special summon Chaos Dragon Levineer, use its effect, and since it's light and dark, I believe they pop 2 cards on the field. Yes, so here I decide to use SP effect. I didn't put Rampage on the field. Sorry, I used SP and Levineer to banish. I had to leave Rampage Dragon on the field because our life points is low, so we needed a body to protect ourselves. So I banished SP and Levineer, but in this case, opponent will just pop the Rampage Dragon and Clockwork Knight. Opponent will use the other effect of Bowlord Fused Dragon. I forgot it had this effect. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Dark Link monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So opponent special summons Dark. Its effects are negated, but opponent can just simply enter battle and attack us, and that's game. So we head into game 3, and we are going first. So in our opening hand, we open Cyber Emergency, Cyber Dark Worm, Infinite Impermanence, Ash Blossom, Call By. Opponent has Effect Veiler, Seveneer, Imperm, Molchami, Meows, not sure how you say that last word, and Fuwalos. So yeah, 2 draw powers are banished. The Meows, not really. They'll get a couple of draws, maybe 1 or 2, since we use Clockwork Knight to reborn from grave. But yeah, 5 disruptions, 7 year included, since we do play lights and darks. So we start our turn, we activate our emergency, search Core, normal summon Core, Core effect to search. Opponent hits us with Infinite Impermanence. And now here thinking whether to use Worm effect, so we can go maybe into Fiendsmith plays, bring out a Link 2, and I decide to take the risk. So we use Worm effect, sending Hertz to the grave to special summon Cyber Dark Worm, and then I was supposed to add Cyber Emergency, but yeah, I only remember now. But then on res, we will trigger Hertz effect to search Cyber Dragon, and now here I decide to Link Summon into Moon, and then we'll start our Fiendsmith plays. Opponent decides to drop the Fuwalos, and I decide to chain the Call By. Now I could have probably instead used Ash Blossom and I could have kept Core Buy in case my opponent had an Ash Blossom for Requiem. So probably should have used Ash for this, but we used Core Buy to negate Fuwalos. Link Summon into Requiem. Requiem effect to summon Lacrima. Lacrima effect will dump Engraver. Engraver will shuffle back Moon to reborn itself. And then here our opponent decides to use Serenia, banishing our Engraver. Here, with not much plays I can do, I just set the Imperm and we are going to pass. So opponent draws into Chaos Levineer. They normal summon Effect Veiler, linking to the Spirit with Eyes of Blue. Opponent will then perform a Link 2 summon, linking into Romulus, Chainlink 1 Romulus, Chainlink 2 Serenia. And here I'm thinking whether to negate Romulus so they don't get the field spell. So I decide to activate Imperm. They won't get the field spell, but they will be able to dump Lubellion to grave. Then they'll special summon Chaos Levineer, but they don't use its effect. They'll distribute it to special summon Lubellion. Lubellion will place Banner Regained in a Spell and Trap Zone. Opponent will then link summon into SP, using SP effect to banish our Lacrima. Then Regained effect will shuffle back our Lacrima so that they can draw a card. Unfortunately, they draw into a dead Fuwalos. So they have 2 dead cards in their hand. We start our turn and we draw into Hertz. So first we special summon Cyber Dragon. Opponent can't really do anything to stop this, so we just simply contact fuse into Mega Fleet. We activate Cyber Emergency, and this was going to get us Cyber Dragon Core, and Cyber Dragon Core was going to be a 1-card combo and going for game. So our opponent just scoops and they just reveal to us that they have Fuwalos and the Meowls in their hand. So Cyber Dragon takes the win. This was a good test match for Cyber Dragon's Post Alliance Insight. Made a few mistakes, but it did work out in the end. So guys, that does bring us to the end of the video. Just a reminder, if you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to leave a comment with your thoughts or any suggestions you can have for Cyber Dragon's Post Alliance Insight, just drop a comment down below in the comment section. Otherwise guys, till the next video, Naughty Nev signing out. Peace.